The Enchanted Hollow Adventure. Chapter 1. The Mysterious Hole. It was the last day of school before the long-awaited summer holiday. Mia, Liam, and Ollie could hardly contain their excitement. As their mother packed their bags, she filled them with an extra special treat, a batch of delicious cookies. "Don't forget to bring your umbrellas," their mother reminded them. "And Mia, please take care of your little brothers Liam, who is 7 years old, and Ollie, who is 4 years old. You're the biggest one." Mia nodded with a determined look in her eyes. "I will, Mom," she promised. They set off to school with a skip in their step. However, halfway there the sky darkened and rain began to pour. But rather than frowning, the siblings welcomed the rain with open arms. "Let's run in the rain," Mia shouted, her voice filled with glee. The trio sprinted through the downpour, their laughter echoing through the empty streets. They jumped into puddles with sheer delight, splashing water everywhere. Liam's talkative nature made the moment even more joyful as he chattered nonstop about the fun they were having. Then they found the largest pond of all. Without hesitation, they leaped into it, expecting another splash. Instead, the ground beneath them gave way, and they found themselves falling, not into water, but into darkness. As they tumbled through the unknown, they gripped each other's hands tightly. They felt a rush of wind, then a sudden stillness. When they finally opened their eyes, they were no longer in the familiar neighborhood. Instead, they were in a magical world filled with vibrant colors, strange plants, and incredible animals. The adventure had just begun. Chapter 2. The Secret World. As Mia, Liam, and Ollie slowly opened their eyes, they couldn't believe what they were seeing. They had arrived in a strange, enchanting world filled with colorful flowers and enormous, bizarre plants. "This doesn't look like home," Mia whispered in awe. Suddenly, they spotted a gigantic dog approaching them. It looked remarkably like the dog belonging to their grumpy neighbor, Mr. Thompson, except this dog was the size of an elephant. The giant dog stared at them intently and began to move closer. The siblings were frozen in fear. It was Mia who snapped out of it first. "Run!" she shouted, grabbing her brother's hands. They sprinted towards the biggest tree they could find and hid inside a hollow. The dog approached the tree and tried to reach them, but was too large to fit through the hole. For a moment, it seemed like they were safe. Then Liam remembered the snack he had packed for Mr. Thompson's dog. He always loved animals and enjoyed playing with them. An idea sparked in his mind. He quickly took out the snacks from his bag and stretched his hand out through the hole. "Here, boy," Liam called softly. For a few tense seconds, nothing happened. Then he felt a warm, gentle touch as the dog sniffed the snacks and began to eat. The dog's demeanor changed completely. It was no longer angry but seemed to want to play with them. "It's working," Liam whispered to his siblings. "He's not angry anymore." The giant dog wagged its tail happily and lay down in front of the tree, waiting for more treats and belly rubs. The children realized that not everything in this strange world was dangerous. They emerged from the tree, cautiously approaching their newfound gigantic friend. Chapter 3. The Wild Encounter. With their new gigantic dog friend, Mia, Liam, and Ollie rode through the colorful and strange new world, taking in the sights. The flowers were larger than they had ever seen, and the plants seemed to have a life of their own. They marveled at the oversized animals, like cockroaches, butterflies, and ants, each as big as the dogs back in their world. Suddenly, the dog stopped and started sniffing the air, sensing something. The siblings looked around and saw a massive frog hopping towards them. The frog's size was intimidating, and it had an aggressive look in its eyes. It seemed ready to fight the dog. Before they could react, the dog shook its body, causing Mia, Liam, and Ollie to fall to the ground. The two animals began to fight fiercely. The frog lashed out with its long tongue, trying to hurt the dog, but their loyal companion was agile and quick, skillfully avoiding the frog's attacks. Liam, always quick to think, remembered the snacks they had given to the dog earlier. He scrambled to his feet and grabbed more snacks from his bag. Stretching his hand out, he hoped the frog would be distracted by the food. "Come on, take it," Liam murmured, trying to stay calm. The frog, however, ignored the snacks and continued its assault on the dog. Realizing the frog wouldn't be swayed by treats, Mia shouted, "We need to help our friend." The dog was a good runner and dodged the frog's attacks skillfully. With a sudden burst of speed, the dog managed to get close enough to bite the frog's tongue. The frog croaked in pain and jumped away, retreating into the underbrush. The siblings rushed to their dog's side, hugging it tightly. "Good job, boy," Mia whispered, relieved that their loyal friend had won the fight. As they continued their journey, they stumbled upon a group of enormous, dangerous cockroaches. The dog's brilliant instincts kicked in, and it barked ferociously, scaring the cockroaches away and keeping the siblings safe. Next, they encountered a band of mischievous monkeys playing in the trees. The monkeys tried to catch them, but the dog's powerful bark sent the monkeys scurrying away in fear. However, as the monkeys fled, they left something behind, one of their little ones, lost and alone in the forest. Mia, Liam, and Ollie looked at the frightened baby monkey with sympathy. They knew they had to help it find its way back to its family. Just then, Mia realized something was wrong. "Wait, where's Ollie?" she gasped, her heart pounding with fear. They quickly looked around and saw that Ollie was missing. Panic set in as they called out his name. Liam spotted a trail of crumbs leading away from where they stood. "He must have wandered off to find something to eat," Liam said, worried. Mia's mind raced. She knew they had to find Ollie quickly. With the help of their loyal dog and the baby monkey, they set off to find their little brother, hoping he was safe. Flower Paw Sparkles. Chapter 4. The Search for Ollie. The siblings gently placed the baby monkey back on a tree branch. "Stay safe," Mia whispered as they waved goodbye. Now, their priority was to find their little brother, Ollie. Retracing their steps, they felt anxious. They thought the dog was moving too slowly, but in reality, their loyal companion knew exactly what he was doing. The dog was carefully sniffing the ground, trying to catch Ollie's scent. As they crossed a small stream, the dog suddenly perked up. He had picked up Ollie's scent. With renewed determination, the dog followed the trail, leading the siblings through the dense forest. After a few minutes, they saw the unmistakable figure of Ollie sitting in a tree, happily munching on sweet and juicy fruits. The tree was loaded with the most delectable fruits they had ever seen. "Ollie!" Mia called out, relief flooding her voice. Ollie looked up, his face covered in fruit juice, and waved excitedly. "Mia! Liam! Look at all this yummy fruit!" The siblings rushed to Ollie and hugged him tightly, grateful to have found him safe and sound. "We were so worried about you," Liam said, smiling. The dog barked happily, his tail wagging furiously. He had done an excellent job leading them to Ollie. With their family reunited, they began to make their way back home, eager to share their incredible adventure with their parents. As they walked, Ollie chattered excitedly about the delicious fruits he had found. "These are the sweetest fruits in the whole world," he declared. Mia and Liam exchanged smiles. They were just happy to have their little brother back. Their journey through the magical world had brought them closer together and filled them with unforgettable memories. Before leaving, Mia looked at their loyal dog and asked softly, "Can you please show us the way back home? We need to go back." The dog looked hesitant. He didn't want them to leave, but he knew the kids couldn't live in his world forever. Understanding their need to return home, the dog decided to help. He nodded and started leading them towards the way out, determined to make the kids happy. With a sense of relief and gratitude, the siblings followed their loyal companion, ready to face whatever lay ahead on their journey back home. Strawberry Dog Sparkles. Chapter 5. The Escape. The siblings, along with their loyal dog companion, journeyed through 2 towering mountains. Along the way, they encountered dragonflies, each the size of the largest animals from their world. The sight was both mesmerizing and a little intimidating. Finally, they stumbled upon a peculiar sight, a tiny tree, unlike the enormous flora around them. The dog stopped and gently touched the tree with its paw. To their amazement, a door appeared at the base of the tree. "We found it!" Mia exclaimed, her voice filled with joy. They were all elated. Their way back home was finally in sight. As they tried to say goodbye to the dog, it suddenly bolted away, perhaps sensing the bittersweet parting. The siblings watched as their giant friend disappeared into the forest, leaving them with fond memories. They stepped through the door and in an instant found themselves back in the familiar bush near their school route. The sky was still cloudy, and the rain continued to pour heavily. They looked at their watches and realized it was too late to go to school. It was time to head home. Quietly, they decided to make their way back home, unable to believe the incredible adventure they had just experienced. As they approached their house, they saw their parents waiting for them, worried but relieved. With hearts full of joy and stories to tell, they ran to their parents, feeling safe and comforted in their embrace. It was a day they would never forget, a day of bravery, friendship, and the unbreakable bond between siblings. The end.